Hello student, I Satish Pandey. Today we are going to discuss about the frequency distribution. How frequency distribution can be made with the help of continuous series under the organization of data. In this topic we have studied about the frequency distribution in which its parts are there like a class interval, different classes, selection of class, how frequency is prepared, how tally sign is used to make frequency distribution. These distribution are frequency distribution are prepared through the continuous series. We have already discussed about there are two discrete and continuous series, and in discrete series frequency array is prepared. From continuous series we prepare frequency distribution, which is very important part of organization of data. So let us see how can we prepare frequency distribution, but before that we need to understand what are the various component and features of frequency distribution. First of all, let us see what is the definition of frequency distribution. So a frequency distribution classify raw data of a quantitative variable into various class. These class are in the form of class interval 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30. So distributed frequency distribution distributed in different class along with corresponding frequencies. So each class have its own frequencies, such as you can see here various classes are there 0 to 10, 10 to 20 and so on. The term class frequencies means the number of value in a particular class. So 0 to 10 is a particular class. In this class how many student marks are there? We are talking about suppose marks of student. So those students who got marks between 0 to 10, their number will number of student can be called as class frequency. For example, in a class 30 to 40 we find 7 value of marks from raw data. So what does these values are 30 for one student, 37 and then 34 and then 30 and then 35 and then 39 and then 32. So these are various values of 7 students who lies between 30 to 40. So what is this 7? This 7 is nothing but a class frequencies. So there are one thing we should remember, that if any number repeated, particularly the number which is at the upper limit of the class or lower limit even, then we will find that there are two values, two classes in which it can be included. But if anything occurring the twice in the raw data and it is there in 30 to 40, there will be a confusion that we should include it 40 in 30 to 40 or 40 to 50. So this also we are going to discuss later on. Although for your information I just inform you that it is for such problem we prepare exclusive series, and that upper limit is excluded and it is included in upper limits. So in great detail we will discuss later on. So in a frequency distribution there are various classes which have class limit. There are two class limit, lower class limit and upper class limit. In 60 to 70, 60 is lower class limit and 70 is upper class limit. So in this way there is a class limit, and between them there is a class interval. It is also called class width. So the difference between the upper class and the lower class limit is known as class width. So two things we understand: what are the different classes and class limits and the class interval. Now let us see about the class midpoint. What is class midpoint, or it is also called class marks? So there are a class, suppose 10 to 20. So in 10 to 20 there are various marks: 10 marks, 11 marks, 12 marks, 13 marks, 15 marks, 19 marks. But what will be the marks of whole class? So we take an average, that is called midpoint of the class. So to calculate the midpoint, we add the lower limit and upper limit and divide it with 2. So class midpoint or class marks can be obtained by using the following formula: upper class limit plus lower class limits divided by 2. So in short, you can say that midpoint is equal to upper class limit plus lower class limit divided by 2. So in this way we can obtain the mid value of any class. So mid value of each class is used to represent the class. It is a representative value, similarly as the average marks of a student is the representative value of his whole mark sheet. As if anyone is going to ask you what is your marks in class 10th, so you will naturally say your average marks. Not you are going to count in this Hindi, in English, in math, in everything. You are not going to explain all the subject, but instead you will see only single numbers, that will be your mean value of marks, average marks. So similarly there are various class. For each class we calculate its mid value, that is that represent the whole class, and it is representative. So once raw data grouped into class, individual observation are not used for further calculation. Instead the class mark is used. So generally we calculate mid value or class marks to further calculation. For example, if you want to calculate mean, median, mode from a frequency distribution, you must calculate mid value, then only you will proceed for it, because the data are in the form of class interval. Class are in the class interval. So here we can see then table 3.3 we have the list of the marks of student. There are lower limits and there are upper limits of the marks, and the frequency is given here, and this shows the lower limits, this shows the upper limit, and this shows the class marks. So 0 to 10, 0 plus 10, 10 divided by 2, 5, 10 plus 20, 30 divided by 2, 15. So in this way we add class lower limit and upper limit, and then after divide it with 2 to get the class marks, which is also called midpoint. Now let us see the frequency curve. Frequency curve is a graphical representation of frequency distribution. If you represent this distribution in a graph, this is the frequency, means number of students, this is the marks of student in the class. So this frequency can be presented in the curve, that is called graphical distribution of frequency distribution, so in a diagrammatic presentation. So if you present it in a diagram, we will get a frequency curve. So our frequency curve look like this, a bell shaped curve. Generally we have a bell shaped curve. which shows a normal distribution of the curve. On in this diagram we have used y-axis for the marks of student and x-axis for the marks of student, y-axis for number of student. So there are 100 marks maximum marks we have taken, and the maximum number of students is 25. So different value is plotted here. We will discuss it later on in the graphical presentation of data, but here you need to understand only that diagrammatic presentation of frequency distribution is called frequency curve. Now again come to the frequency distribution. How can we prepare frequency distribution? As it is shown in the table 3.1, we have prepared frequency distribution. First of all, we need to decide how many classes are there. Should we have more classes or less classes? What will be the ideal number of classes? These things we have to. Size of each class is also matter. Here the size of each class is 10, 0 to 10, 10 to 20. And class limits, what will be the class limit? Upper class limit and lower class limit. How should we get the frequency for each class? This is the other part. First we have to decide the class, and then after we have to decide frequency of each class. So let us come with the first question. How many classes should we have? So first find out the extent of variable by calculating the range. You know that there are maximum marks is 100 and the minimum marks is 0. So what is the range? Range is the difference between the maximum marks. Range R is equal to difference between the maximum marks, that is the maximum minus minimum marks. So first of all you need to calculate the range of the data. For marks of student, generally it is not the range always. If the highest marks is 80, your range will be 80. If the highest marks is for any test is 50, so your range will be 50. Similarly, if you want to know some other variables, there may be range of 100, 1000, 10,000, 36, 56, anything can be range. So first of all you need to calculate the range of any distribution, and then after you need to calculate other things. So range is the difference between largest and the smallest value of a series. So a large range indicate the value of the variable are widely spread. A small range indicate narrow spread. So I already told you that marks of student always range between 100 to 0 or 80 to 0, depend upon the maximum marks of the student. So if you take equal class interval, for example we have taken here equal class interval of 0 to 10, 10 to 20. So if you take equal class interval, then by dividing the range you can get the number of classes. So if your range is 100, and there are class interval is 10, so how many total number of class you have? That is 10. On the other hand, so this is the number of classes. So how many classes you have? 10. So what's happen if you take the class interval 5? If you take class interval 5 for the same series, we will have, instead of 10 we will have 20 classes. So if you take a lower class range or class interval, your number of classes will increases. This is the number of classes. So it depend upon you that how much you are taking the class. So note that the range is the sum of all class interval. So your range is 100. If you sum all the class interval, there are class interval of 10, 10, 10, always 10 class interval. If you add all the 10 times 10, it will be 100. That will equal to range. Now let us see how to range. So this formula is given, range is equal to number of class into class interval. So if you multiply number of class into class interval, you will get your range. In the first example, number of class is 10 and the range is 10. Sorry, number of class here and the class interval. Class interval is 10 and number of class is 10. So if you multiply, you will get 100. Here the number of class is 20 and class interval is 5. So 520 is 100, again you will get the range. So range always equal to number of class into class interval. So you need to take range and then after you have to decide the number of class and class interval. Once you decide the class interval, you will also decide the number of class. If the number of class would be large, we choose a small class interval. Value of range depend upon. If you want to increase the number of class, take a small class interval. If you want to decrease the number of class, you take large class interval. But what will the question is that how much class should be there? We cannot take very large class interval or very small class interval because of the loss of data. We have to take a given range of class interval. There are not hard and fast rule, but the number of classes should be between 5 to 15. Our class interval here in the previous example is 10 number of class. So it is in the range of 5 to 15. Most of the question in the mathematics about the mean median note you have solved, it must be between 5 to 15 classes, not more than 15 classes. So we can say that ideal situation is there, 5 to 15 classes should be there according to the range. Now in our example, the 10 classes are taken with the help of 10 class interval. What should be the size of each class? I have already given you the example that when I change the size of class from 10 to 5, number of classes increases and number of classes increases to 20. So that will be beyond the ideal limit. Although we can take the 8 as a class interval, which will remain in the limit, or something 9, 6 or some other thing. So given range of variable, we can determine the number of class 1, we decide the class interval also. If you decide any one between the number of class and class interval, other will automatically decide it. So once you decide the number of class, your class interval is decided, because you can divide number of class with the range and you will get the class interval. Here the formula is given of range. So if you divide, this is the range. If you divide with number of class, you will get the class interval. If you divide with class interval, you will get the number of class. So if you are going to decide number of class, then you automatically get the class interval. And if you decide first class interval, you will get the number of class given the range of the data. because range is always given and you can obtain it from your data. So in example 4 we have suppose decided a number of class 10. So 10 if you divide with the 100, our class interval is 10. However, you can choose the class interval that are not equal to the magnitudes. Sometimes we can take unequal class interval also. For example, if the data is not much in the lower side, we can take a big class in the lower side, suppose 0 to 20. But it is very less happen unequal weights. Most of the time we take equal class interval. Now let us see how can we decide the class limit. So class limit are there are two class limit, upper class limit and lower class limit. So it can be obtained by adding the class interval with the value of lower class limit of the class. So suppose you have decided the class interval of 10. So the lowest one is 0. So you will add the 10 with the 0, 0 plus 10, it will be lower class limit. So in this way we will get the different lower class limit. 0 is the lower class limit of the first class because there is nothing less than 0. But after that you will add a 10 for next lower limit of next class. Again you add 10. So once you decided the mid value 10, you add this mid value in each lower limit and you will get the lower limit of the next class. And when you add you will get the upper limit of the same class and lower limit of the next class. So upper class limit for the last class we could have chosen the value greater than the maximum value of the variable. So in this way class limit should be chosen that midpoint or the class marks of each class coincide as far as possible with any value around which the data tend to be concentrate. So it must be coincide midpoint or class mark for each class. So, as I told you that a very rare cases unequal class interval is given. Most of the time it is equal class interval. So our class limit or class marks is always equal for the first class and second class and class interval. Now let us see, you have noticed that upper class limit of the first class is equal to the lower class limit of the second class, because we have obtained it by adding 10 and 10 always. That is the range of the class or class interval. So automatically the upper class limit of the first class become the lower class limit of the second class, and upper class limit of the second class become the lower class limit of the third class. So in this way each classes have, you can see here in this very clearly in the, so the upper limit of the first class is the lower class limit of the second class, then upper class limit of the second class is the lower class limit of the third class, upper class limit of the third class is the lower class limit of the fourth class. So see in this way upper class limit of one class is the lower class limit of the successive class. So in which if we get a data very similar, for example 10, so 10 is the upper class limit of the first class as well as lower class limit of the second class. In which class it should be included? So in the exclusive method we include the 10 in the second class where it is a lower class limit, not where it is a upper class limit. So in exclusive method of classification of raw data we exclude upper class limit for each class. So any number coincide or match with the two classes, one for upper limit and one for lower limit, so we include it where it is lower limit. So as I told you earlier, the problem which we faced earlier, that if the a number is coincide in upper class limit of a particular class, but it is also equal to the lower class limit of the next class, then we have to include such data in the class where it is lower limit, and that is called exclusive method of the class interval. So in another video we will discuss about the exclusive class interval.